Good morning everyone. Hope you are fine and doing well. In this short video I'm going to talk about the perceptions on the body and how it gets variegated depending on various socio-cultural, biological and political aspects. The body is never ever a fixed, stable corporeal self. The bodily perceptions are heavily dependent on the various lenses through which a body is getting perceived. For example, the body of a married woman is always being represented as a site for control. The body of a married woman has been transformed into a locus where bodily control and social control both go hand in hand, and patriarchy attributes its power on the female body. So, as a result, we find many cultural customs where a married woman is allowed or being instructed to wear signifiers of her marriage. In several parts of India, we find married women there using vermilion mark in the parting of their hair as a symbol of the marriage. In the Kutch region of the Gujarat, the married women are allowed to wear very heavy, very big nose pins. They are not at all nose pins. Sometimes they're like very big nose rings, and those nose rings are too heavy to wear. So these are various markers, and even in different parts of the northern India, we find the married women are allowed to wear bangles, various types of bangles, and they all of these signifiers they define the marital status of a female. Quite interestingly, a male body has never ever been imagined as a kind of locus on which society or patriarchy, both of them, would be able to write something down. It is a patriarchal tradition, nevertheless. If you look at the Western philosophical assumptions on the body, you will be understand that in Plato also, Plato talks about the inferiority of the body in comparison to the spirituality of the soul. In his Phaedrus, in his laws, in his Republic, he talks about the limitation which a body causes always. So beyond the body, beyond the flesh, there remains the possibility of learning something. So the knowledge acquirement or the knowledge acquisition is heavily dependent on the spiritual quality or the power of the soul. Even in Aristotle also this kind of assumption is also there. In Western philosophy, if you look at the theories of Merleau-Ponty, Neil Messer, Mary Douglas, all of these three writers, they're talking about the condition of the body which actually provides a heavy burden of materiality onto the subject. Therefore, it becomes very difficult for the subject to transcend, to go beyond the bodily margins or limitations. Contrarily, in the Indic philosophical assumptions, if you look at the Hindu orthodox discourses, Dharmashastras, and Vedas, Puranas, and Upanishads, you would be able to find that the references to the body has always been attached to negativity and polluting factor. The materiality of the body is heavily being condemned, whereas the spirituality of the soul is heavily celebrated in the discourse of the body. So it's important. If you look at the Maitri Upanishad talks about the negative form of the body, which is a locus of filth, dirt, pollution, and it is in a way being represented in a negative light. In Buddhism also, if you look at Buddhism, they talk about the ideal bodies, but these ideal bodies are very similar to the yogic bodies, which is very difficult for a mortal man to achieve. So Buddhism also talks about the kind of ideal body which should be possessed by the yogi or the sadhaka. But in general, Buddhism focuses on the body, a sound body for an individual, so that he or she can participate in the household responsibilities and worldly duties very successfully. So the attitude towards body is very uh, dualistic in a sense, I would love to say. And if you look at the Upanishadic perception of the body, Upanishad talks about various layers or shades of the body, and Upanishad talks about the Panchakosha. The Panchakosha are basically the five different layers of the body. So these layers of the body, they are again talking about the materiality, the fleshiness, the limitation.